Hello everyone, and welcome to this meditation from Evo Faith. Once again, we'll be engaging more deeply and personally with what I spoke about in Wednesday's podcast. If you haven't watched, read, or listened to it yet, then you may want to do that first and then come back to this video. You'll notice that some of this practice, particularly in the preparing, responding, and integrating sections, is the same as our last video. This is done intentionally. Spiritual practice is deepened through ritual, and ritual is most powerful when it's repeated. There may be a sense of novelty and creativity when we perform a practice for the first time, but when we repeat it, we engage with it differently. We don't need to pay quite as much conscious attention to what we're doing, and so we activate deeper parts of our consciousness in our hearts and bodies. So I hope you won't skip over the bits that you remember from before, but stay with them and allow them to do their work, even if it doesn't feel like much is happening. And so now, prepare your body, heart and mind by becoming still. Deepen and slow your breathing, and bring your awareness into this moment. Ground yourself and be as present to right here and right now as you can. Take 3 deep breaths to mark your presence here. Now become aware of the divine presence. Light a candle to represent this divine presence and spend a few moments gazing at the flame and just being with Spirit. You may find certain words or images coming into your mind as you do this, and if so, just hold them. And now lay those words or pictures aside. Clear your mind of anything that defines or describes God. Blow out your candle as a symbol of releasing your familiar ideas of God. If your words or images return, that's fine. Just lay them aside again. If other words or images come to mind, that's also okay. Just lay them aside. Try to stay with a sense of mystery and transcendence without defining or describing it, just for a few moments. And now again, I invite you to pray with me or simply sit in stillness as we prepare for the meditation ahead. We come before you, great eternal mystery, and release all definitions, categories, assumptions, and limitations. Just for this moment, we seek to move beyond our ideas and allow ourselves to be present with what is beyond our words. We seek to dename our names and allow ourselves to be present with you without trying to grasp you, describe you, or define you. We celebrate the mystery that is beyond human understanding. We give thanks for a reality that is more than we can apprehend or explain. And we are silent and still as we open to that which we can only know in our deepest, most intuitive selves. Amen. Now once again, let's shift our awareness to this great mystery and the many ways it is manifest in our universe. Take 3 deep breaths as you prepare for this encounter. I know how frightening this world can be. Like you, I have felt the anxiety of trying to navigate the turbulence and the dread that the chaos may overwhelm us all. And like you, I have often searched for some sense of control, some certainty, some way of understanding and being in the world that will promise safe refuge from the storms. I know you have wondered how some of your neighbors and friends seem so confident. You've listened as they explained, as if to a child, how everything that happens is simply the fulfillment of some prophecy. You've tried to see things as they do. You've entertained the idea that God sits on some far-off throne watching it all play out. You've even seen some element of truth in their unswerving conviction that God is in control, that God is directing history, that God's sovereignty is unchanging, and that God's ways are justified simply because God is God and we are not. You've shifted uncomfortably when they've pointed at some othered group as the reasons for the chaos, when they've so easily laid the blame on those who haven't played by their rules or fitted their definitions. But you haven't had an alternative narrative, and so in your hidden thoughts you've wondered if maybe they're right after all, if the world really does work as they say, if God really could be the superhuman sovereign above, dealing out rewards and punishments. But within you has been that other voice, the one that is unwilling to trade your compassion for a feeling of control, the one that cannot believe that God is both so removed from the cosmos and yet so blithely and unpredictably intervenes. You understand the security that comes from such simple explanations. You're tempted to ignore the complexities you see in favor of the peace and confidence that comes from believing that God is on our side and we are on God's, and God is in control. But somehow, even as you grasp the glimpses of truth that you found in fundamentalist perspectives, you know you won't find what you seek there. You need to keep searching. You recognize the contradiction in declaring that God is sovereign, that God's ways are higher than ours, while simultaneously claiming to know the mind of God and have God's ways carefully worked out and defined. You see the absurdity of believing that prophecy can easily be deciphered, and you know the way your soul rejects the thought that a God who is love could ever punish sinners and innocents alike through plagues, earthquakes, and hurricanes. And so you know, you must follow to its end the glimpse of God that your fundamentalist neighbors have shown you. They have taught you that God is beyond our understanding, and you know you need to cling to this, not just as an idea, but as a truth by which to live. You can no longer try to read the mind of God. You can only dive even deeper into the mystery that is beyond your capacity to imagine or explain. You also sense the voice within you calling you, not to find security in a sense of being in control or of knowing how to predict the world's currents. You hear the challenge to release control of all but that which is yours to control, which is only yourself. And you know that you must face the uncomfortable invitation of learning to be comfortable with unanswerable questions, unresolvable contradictions, and mind-blowing paradoxes. But you also feel it. I know you do. The energizing, breathlessly exciting sense of the wild, untamable force of life within you and around you. You feel the comfort and relief of resting in the presence of that which is bigger than you, beyond your small concepts and doctrines. You know that within you is a spark of this great mystery, but that the divine whole encompasses all that was and is and could ever be. You are just a tiny flicker of that great eternal reality of being. And so now you can obey the urge to release your need to control, to understand and explain, and to silence your fears with certainty. You can bring all your energies to navigating as creatively and compassionately as possible this complex and chaotic world. And yet, even as you do, you can trust that evolution continues to move the cosmos toward ever more wondrous creativity, connection, and compassion. And in that, you know you can find sufficient comfort to risk living fully and courageously. Now come back to the place where you are. Feel your body in the chair or on the pillow that supports it. Become aware of your surroundings. And when you're ready, light your candle once again as a commitment to remember the divine light that is within you. And now as you gaze at the flame again, take a few moments to experience your awareness that you are not the whole of God, and that you are not in control of your world or even of a significant proportion of your life. Sit with the feelings, thoughts, and emotions that arise in you as you consider this, even if it's uncomfortable. And allow your awareness of spirit to connect with whatever you're experiencing now. Take as much time as you need. When you're ready to end your meditation, go into the rest of the week with the intention to seek out the image and presence of God in the people and places around you. Whenever you catch a glimpse of the divine in another person or in some event or situation, be sure to notice it deliberately. And then when you have a chance, journal that experience and allow yourself to learn something new about God through it. And now take one last deep breath to energize yourself again after this practice. Remember to stay connected to the sacred, and I'll see you soon for our next practice together.